the Mongol, the most feared warrior of the medieval world, ruler over the largest single landmass ever conquered by man. The Mongol is born into a hostile and turbulent society and raised to be both a brilliant strategist and merciless warrior.
As the Mongols are bursting on the scene, everyone is terrified of them. They're viewed as an apocalyptic threat.
They want to build a giant empire that no one has ever seen before. If you resist, entire populations would get slaughtered.
The Mongols killed between 20 and 40 million people.
Over the course of the 12th and 13th centuries, the Mongols conquered 12 million square miles, making it the largest contiguous land empire in history.
They create an empire that spans from the Korean Peninsula to the middle of Central Europe.
They end up dominating some of the greatest warriors in world history, and clearly there's something special about Mongolian fighters.
The relentless expansion of the Mongols' territory can only be achieved by building a warrior who is faster and stronger than any other in the Middle Ages. His journey to becoming a warrior will see him endure brutal training, master deadly weapons of war, and conquer his enemies through the most feared battle tactics of the ancient world. One man will unite the Mongols and give birth to an empire by creating one of the greatest army of warriors ever. His beginnings are legendary.
In 1162, there's a boy born, and he's the son of a powerful clan warlord. His parents name him Temujin. And this is the future Genghis Khan.
The story is that Temujin is born with a blood clot clutched in his fist. And they take this as a very powerful symbol that he will be a great warrior, a great leader.
Before he can meet his destiny, the boy's family will be terrorized by rival clans.
Temujin's gonna have a rough childhood. His father is murdered, he's poisoned, and because he was a rising figure in Mongolian society, this leads to the ostracization of Temujin's family. He starts attaining adulthood, and he eventually does get married, and once he gets married, then another rival tribe kidnaps his own wife. So he then has to rescue her and form an alliance to do so. But he never forgets where vengeance is due.
Ultimately, this is a warrior culture, and the only way to win respect is to be the ultimate warrior.
Temujin skillfully forms some key alliances to seek revenge. He's a natural-born leader, and he and his new coalition crush all of his rivals. He gains a reputation as a brilliant negotiator and a fierce warrior. Definitely not somebody you want to cross.
He'll continue to be threatened by competing clans, but this Mongol leader uses his tactical brilliance to rule over them all.
He has the perfect combination of charisma and ruthlessness to be able to rule an empire the size of which he was able to conquer.
In 1206, Temujin gets elected as the new Khan. There is only one Khan. It's like being the king of the entire nation.
He is given a new title, and he becomes Genghis Khan, which means firm, resolute, or fierce leader. And so he becomes the single leader of Mongolia.
The awesome might of the Mongol army is demonstrated in the year 1218 during an infamous conflict with the Khwarazmian Empire, a region with which Khan intends to form an alliance.
The Mongol Empire is now butting up against the empire of Muhammad Shah. So Genghis Khan sends a caravan to the Shah in order to establish trading relations with Shah's empire. And so the caravan reaches the town of Orchara, and the governor, who is a relative of the Shah, thinks that the caravan is full of spies.
The governor of Otrar communicates a message to the Shah saying, I mean to execute everyone in the caravan and take all the spoils. And the Shah agrees. He gives the governor permission to carry out this massacre.
One guy escapes, gets back, and spreads the news to the Mongols. Now, Genghis Khan, he wants his stuff back, and he also wants the governor who did this atrocity.
So he sends a new delegation directly to the Shah with the demand that the governor be executed.
Sultan Muhammad Khwarazm Shah is offended by Genghis Khan. He's also viewing himself as the second Alexander the Great. He's created this vast empire. He has an army of over 400,000 men. And so he dismisses the Mongols. He kills the ambassador and burns the beards of his guards and sends them back with his message of no.
Crossing the Mongol warriors brings about a swift and significant response.
Genghis Khan gets the news of what's happened to his second delegation, and he declares war.
Genghis Khan raises an army of between 100 and 150,000 warriors. The challenge with this invasion is there's only one established route of access into the Shah's empire.
To take the Shah by surprise, the Mongol leader uses a series of tactics refined over decades of successful warfare. He begins by dividing his armies and sending them through what is thought to be impassable mountain and desert terrain.
They're marching divided, but they all have one objective, which is the capital.
There's deserts, there's mountains, which allegedly was impassable. Turns out it isn't. The Mongol horses are not the fastest in the world. They're probably the toughest.
3 months later, Genghis Khan's army arrives at the city of Otrar.
The Mongols are bringing siege equipment from China. They have trebuchets, they have battering rams, they have siege towers.
With his city surrounded and his armies divided, the Shah escapes with his life. His relative, the governor, is not so lucky.
The governor, he's eventually captured, and the Mongols do have a sense of irony, and since he was so greedy and took all of their treasure, they pour silver into all of his orifices.
Once you have inflamed the wrath of the Mongols, they do not hold back.
The Khwarazmian Empire is probably the largest empire you've never heard of, and Genghis Khan is why. He literally wipes it off the map.
For the Mongol warrior and his army, victory over a powerful rival empire sends a message to his enemies across the continent.
The Mongols are now looking back and realizing what they've just accomplished. Genghis Khan has conquered more territory than any other person in history. It's alleged that the carbon levels dropped because Genghis Khan had killed so many people.
The bloody conflict stoked by the Khan transformed the Mongols into masters of warfare, and the lessons they leave behind are studied to this day.
The military legacy of the Mongols is vast. After World War I, with the horrors of trench warfare, many military thinkers tried to find a way to add mobility to warfare. This will be passed on to Germany, which will help lead to the formation of blitzkrieg warfare. In Britain, we have military thinkers looking at tanks and airplanes to add that mobility.
If you look at the battle plan for Gulf War I, the U.S. Marines attacking straight into the front, which was the heavy cavalry of the Mongols, while the light armored forces swing around the rear to take the opponent in the side. And so studying the past, translating into warfare in the future.